What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about The Last of Us 2 leaks, because the stuff that's just come out today is very, very bad, and it kind of explains the motivation of the leaker themselves. The major question I keep seeing people ask is, how can you be so disgruntled at work? How can you be so upset at your job that you'll leak an entire game? Because at this point, there is literally hours of footage of The Last of Us 2 that's just been fully uploaded to the internet. This stuff might completely ruin the game. And what's funny is that, despite this, there's now just a lot of debate about whether or not this leaker is a good person or a bad person or what their motivations could be. Well, now, according to an anonymous Reddit post, we kind of got some clues as to what may be actually going on. Now, I just want to say something right up front. This is speculation. This is rumors. We don't really know if this is a fact or not. It's Reddit. People can just put whatever they want on here. But some of this, it lines up with other reports. Now, I'm going to read this. And I just want to say, Naughty Dog, I've seen some people saying that you guys are taking down videos. Please don't take this video down. Please don't delete this. It would completely suck. It would just make you guys look bad. Also, I just realized as I'm filming this video that I still have that fake blood on my face from the Assassin's Creed video. Okay. So now let's read through this. What we have here is a post that's over on the Last of Us 2 Reddit. Now, this is obviously a space that's designed for one purpose, which is sharing the hype and excitement of Last of Us 2. And funny enough, it's kind of become a focal point now of people who are criticizing The Last of Us and also Naughty Dog. Reason revealed why disgruntled employee leaked The Last of Us 2. A source that works at Naughty Dog revealed recently why the leaks happened. The reason why was indeed a pay dispute, but that's not the whole story. Hundreds of furloughed staff have approached Naughty Dog to ask for an advance of the post-release bonus they're contractually obligated to receive. A common industry practice is to underpay workers during the production and promise them a huge bonus 6 months after the game's release. The better the game sells, the higher the bonus. Some employees have already made plans to what to use that bonus. Plan a wedding, buy a house, send kids to college, etc. When the game was delayed indefinitely, all those plans went out the window. Now let me just stop right there. This part is definitely real. I talk to a lot of game developers, and a common statement they say is that this is not the business you get into to get rich. I mean, most game developers are dramatically underpaid. For the amount of hours they work, for the amount of creativity, love, and passion they put into their projects, these dudes deserve to be making like $100,000 a year. I mean, seriously, some of the most talented people are basically eating ramen to survive. Even games you love, there's a lot of times where the people who manage to make the best parts of your art are unfortunately dead broke. This is the way it works though, is okay, the upfront sucks, but then you get like a $10,000 or $20,000 bonus. And it kind of makes it where it sucks, but at least you keep getting motivated to focus on the art and think of that reward. If Naughty Dog really did delay that bonus or try and string it along, I actually empathize. If somebody started saying that, hey, I know you're super hungry right now and your kids are trying to get some like braces or something, and they suddenly just say, sorry bro, you're screwed, I would be pretty mad at my boss as well. Okay, so let's keep reading here. Some employees were hoping to use their bonus to weather the sorry, I don't want to say that word, I don't know if I'll get demonetized, the virus storm, and provide for their families. Naughty Dog flat out refused the request to advance them even a portion of their future bonus. The insider says the employee was told that his contract stated he would be paid out in 6 months after the game released, or not at all. The employee was threatened with termination for making the request. The studio was worried more about employees would demand their bonuses now if they gave this one employee his bonus early. To add insult to injury, senior staff, including Neil Druckmann, who obviously is the main guy behind this game, asked for and received their bonuses early. This pissed off the majority of the employees at Naughty Dog. Now, this is the part that I'm not sure is as true. From what I've talked to people, it seems like if you ask for an advance, typically they'll give it to you. A lot of times these companies, they do have a huge amount of capital backed up. If they're able to pay the people to make sure that the game gets finished, normally they'll give you like $30,000 up front or whatever, just to make sure you don't just stop showing up to work. Especially right now with this whole awful work from home business. I'm sure a lot of times right now, this is the part that I feel like everything depends on. Right now, this part of the story is everything. But now here's the last part. The leaks were a way of forcing the studio to release the game sooner than later. The leaker is risking career and financial ruin so that his fellow abused workers can get their piece of the pie a lot sooner. Studio rumor put the expected release date around holiday. This means that the staff wouldn't receive their bonuses until May 2021. Please spread the word as quickly as humanly possible. Okay, this is all just a rumor. Right now, let's just pretend that none of this is real. Let's just pretend that the leaker was one guy who happened to be mad completely by himself and none of this is real. I still think it shows the fact that Naughty Dog is a very bad place to work. Even if we assume that this post is completely fake, let's just say that this is just some Xbox fanboy fan fiction. Okay, that's fine. The problem is, we still have a lot of other evidence from people all the way at the top down to the very, very bottom of Naughty Dog saying that it's a bad place to work. I actually decided to pull up some other stuff, including this is Annie Hennig. We all remember Annie Hennig. We all love Annie Hennig. She's the person who's actually behind Uncharted, right? You love Uncharted. It's a freaking masterpiece. Well, here's the thing. She worked for years and years and years on a project that unfortunately got canceled. Well, what does that mean? It means she didn't get a bonus. It means she didn't get a good paycheck. It means she worked for almost nothing for a very long time. And here specifically is the part that I think is important. The whole time I was at Naughty Dog, 10.5 years probably, on average, I don't know if I ever worked less than 80 hours a week. There were exceptions where it was like, okay, let's take a couple of days off, but I pretty much worked 7 days a week, at least 12 hours a day. 7 days a week for 12 hours a day. Now, some of you work that much. I actually want to say a giant salute to the people who do work this much. It's rare. I think a lot of people have just a normal full-time job where you work 9 to 5 and you clock out. But there are people like this who all day, every day, just to survive, are working for pennies just to scrape together a life. These people are actually some of the most dedicated, die-hard badasses in the workforce. And the fact that these people are trying to do it for art, they're trying to make the big giant games that keep us entertained, and then they just end up getting screwed over by Naughty Dog at the end, that to me is an absolute travesty. I mean, let's not forget, Annie Hennig was dropped after she worked on a game for years and years and years in secret, hoping to have this giant cool reveal. Boom, they pull the plug, gone, you're thrown out in the wind. Unemployed, go home, I hope you enjoy the taste of ramen. Naughty Dog did that to her, and it baffles my mind. Alright, now another statement I wanted to look at is here. Check it out, this is Jonathan Cooper. This is somebody who talked about, this is like a viral tweet from a while ago, as you can see, 31,000 retweets. This is just from a couple weeks ago. When I left Naughty Dog last year, they threatened to withhold my final paycheck until I signed additional paperwork stating I wouldn't share their production practices. They finally relented when I assured them that it was mostly illegal. The truth is, I have no awful crunch tale. The story animators, as we were known, were averaging 46 hours a week when I left, and I personally never went over 55 hours. The story team is super organized, and we reacted to whatever was thrown at us. That's not to say that others weren't suffering. So clearly, even this guy on the inside is able to consciously realize, okay, it is time to walk away. There's a last statement here. His has like this big tweet thread, but I feel like the last one here is extremely important. Ultimately, Naughty Dog's linear games have a formula and they focus test the heck out of them. While talented, their success is due in large part to Sony's deep pockets funding their delays rather than skill alone. A more senior team would have shipped The Last of Us a year ago. These tweets, in my opinion, are very damning, and they kind of reflect upon the fact that Naughty Dog has a Naughty Dog problem. They want to do the biggest stuff. They want to have the craziest projects and the best graphics, and in their ambition, I can admire the goals they're trying to achieve. But if it comes out that this is because of human suffering, if crunch is causing people to go hungry, if people are spending so many hours just sitting there coding and designing that they're literally starving, that is when I understand that people are being pushed too far. I'm not going to go and say that the leaker is legit. I still think that the person obviously broke laws. You've signed a bunch of NDAs, non-disclosure agreements are very much legally binding, but in this way, If this is even 1% true, I definitely sympathize. I definitely think that a person can be pushed way too far. I guess we'll know soon, or maybe we won't. With all these takedowns and stuff, maybe this video itself will also evaporate. But if this sticks around, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to keep covering this entire mess around Naughty Dog and The Last of Us 2 because The Last of Us is important to me. I'm still going to play the game, I'm still curious about it, but at this point, I'm not sure I'm really happy with how the sandwich is being made. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I've tried to wash this blood off my face. Oh god, it's probably stained. I'm probably going to look like this for a couple days, so I apologize. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.